it is answer to the question asked. Question: detailed information about Heron has been requested from the system. Our friends. This totalistic word, that is Heron, constituted of the first letters of mediums in which the directing totalities work, which puts on the agenda the commands of the totalities of the dimensions of all truthful, means blazing fire in accordance with the interpretation of your terrestrial consciousnesses. However, this fire is a totalistic power. It has nothing to do with the blazing fire you know. However, we have to use these words in accordance with your consciousness notions in order to explain this to you. The fire in here is not burning. It is not cold, either. This place in here is a beamy totality. It is a power dimension diverging and converging all energy and cellular forms. All divergence takes place from here. Convergence, too, occur at this final boundary. Transitions to other totalities, too, are made by the same beam method, through this final boundary. Who comes here, who can reach here? Even if the application made in the medium of radiation and beaming up or down exhibits a technological operation, forming a total again on the same coordinate of the disassociated cells is possible only by the spiritual power of that total. In this medium, it is imperative that the entire potential of the mind should integrate with the bodily cells on the same coordinate. Otherwise, the individual materializes, that is, it becomes embodied, fragment by fragment. For this reason, transfers of talents who have attained evolutionary totality are being made into these dimensions in accordance with their spiritual powers. Humanity is induced to go through various stages until it attains this power of its. Each experienced negative event is an occurrence pertaining to your being induced to attain such a power potential. During this dimension of transition, the application of the change of system made in the establishing mechanisms of the divine orders is being applied, in exactly the same way, on your planet, too. Negativities observed on your planet should in no way be considered as negative. Because, in future, very positive results will issue from them. For this reason, you're regarding the events you confront without adding the interpretations of your individual consciousnesses, will bring you happiness instead of sorrow. At the moment, the entire power of years is upon humanity. And humanity is obliged to pay the retribution of the errors made until today. Because, perfections can never be expected of mediums from which lessons cannot be learned. Beautiful paths are not opened without being patient, without being perseverant, without treading the soil of the world. During this period, a section of humanity has locked itself up in its own consciousness clutches. To break this clutch is not as an easy phenomenon as assumed. It is an investment made into years. Now, due to this very reason, the MEVLANA Supreme Plan is being directly applied on your planet by the system during the salvation plan, and thus, each individual is endeavored to be induced to attain the MEVLANA consciousness by the cosmic influences. While your diskette registrations are conveyed to the archive in the Registration Control Center, we observe the yearning of everyone for a beautiful world without wars, and that they serve on the path of totality by the consciousness of love and unity, and that more or less an intensive section of the human being of your planet appropriate to themselves the MEVLANA philosophy. However, all these issues are vibrations reflecting from thoughts. We observe in distress during the controls of the vibrations of the essence that even friends who have realized this totality and thus, who have dedicated themselves to this path, have not yet broken the chains of ego and self, and that separations are still valid during unifications. As long as humanity cannot attain the unification from the essence on the same purpose, your planet will suffer bitterly